the title really sums it up. There is a straight-up demon in server room B. I can hear it, sniffing under the thick metal door separating me from it. I can fucking hear it, its claws gouging the metal, tearing it open like a can opener. I really don't know how things came to this. I mean, yeah, things were a little off when I came in this evening, but how could I have predicted this? I arrived at 12 on the dot, as usual. I've always preferred the midnight shift, dark and quiet, with little to no serious work usually needed to keep everything running. As an added benefit, fellow graveyard shift toilers generally made an effort to keep things quiet and to avoid any awkward conversations. As I pulled my car in, I noticed the parking lot was bare. I saw the cars of the 5 to 12 shift, but none of the cars that the guys who work with me usually drive. I frowned at that, convinced that the slackers were going to make me handle the first couple of minutes of the shift alone. As I walked to the data center doors, I noticed the staff on the previous shift leaving. With a tired look on his face, David, a guy who used to work the graveyard shift with me, threw me away. I tossed him a wave back before calling out to him. David. He and the rest of the previous shift staff winced as my voice rattled their tired brains. David frowned, but with begrudging legs began to make his way over to me. What is it, Tom? David asked, his hoarse voice cutting through the silence of the parking lot. Closer now, I could see the bags under his eyes, and for the slightest second, I felt a pang of guilt for pulling him away from his car. I shook it off quickly, though, after all, I would be here the rest of the night. If anything, David should be feeling bad for me. Chuckling, I asked. I was just wondering if any of the guys from my shift are in yet. I don't see their cars out here, but it wouldn't be unlike those weirdos to carpool or something. David gave me a half-hearted smile that didn't quite reach his tired eyes. Then, extending his arm, he patted me on the shoulder before speaking. Nope, the troglodytes aren't in yet. Guess you're alone tonight, bud. We both laughed at that, knowing it was straight bullshit. Data centers never rest, and since data centers never rest, neither do the full teams required to maintain them. After giving David an exaggerated sigh and tapping his shoulder in return, I let him walk to his car as I scanned my badge to enter the door. Through the door, the heavy concrete walls of the data center wrapped around me. Above, fluorescent bulbs buzzed, washing the hall in their usual sickly yellow. As the door behind me slammed shut, I shivered as the cold air that permeated the center cut through my clothes. Fuck, keeping it cold tonight, aren't they? I mumbled under my breath as I zipped my jacket. My shoes clacked on the concrete floor as I made my way down the hall, the sound seemingly echoing endlessly in the empty space. I try not to be a coward, honestly, but walking down that dark hall alone, even my throat started to get a little dry. It was creepy, it was quiet, too quiet. Without the sounds of the co-workers, no matter how obnoxious they could be, it felt like something was going to jump out at me. After a minute or two, I took a hard left and scanned into the help desk operations center, before slamming the door behind me. 12 empty desks greeted my arrival, their computer monitors and components appearing to be my only companions for the night. Calming my heart, I walked to the coffee maker. Then I groaned, noticing the previous shift had not refilled it before they left. After packing the thing full of coffee grounds, I made my way to my desk and logged into my account. The ever-familiar Windows screen filled my view before it shifted to the help desk ticket interface. With an annoyed roll of my eyes, I clicked off the page and onto Google before loading up one of their web games. After asteroids destroyed the dinosaur on my screen, I tapped my phone to check the time. 12:16. I felt myself frown. Picking up my phone, I opened my messages before shooting a text to Charlie, the help desk manager for the graveyard shift. Hey, boss. Any idea when you and the guys will be rolling in? Honestly, Charlie is a bit of a dick, but I never knew him to be late. I sat there a little bit longer before my thoughts were interrupted by a low hiss. The smell of burning coffee began to fill the room as the pot I had just packed minutes ago began to overflow. Fuck, really? I muttered before jumping out of my seat to pull the pot off the burner. However, as I turned, the smell vanished, and as I glanced at the coffee pot, I couldn't see a single drop of liquid even inside it. Behind me, my phone dinged, and I felt my heart attempt to leap out of my chest. I swallowed hard and tried to convince myself I was just imagining shit. Reaching for the phone, I tapped my fingers against its surface before a shrill ringing nearly caused me to toss the thing across the office. Heart slamming, I swung around, trying to find the source of the sound. On the wall, flashing red, the office phone sang its usual song. Brushing my hair back, I breathed slowly, easing my heart. Just the phone, Tom. Calm down. Lifting the phone from the receiver and placing it to my ear, I tried to put on my best customer service voice. Hello, you've reached the Help Desk Operations Center. How may I be of service? Silence answered me, masked only by a thin veil of static. I cleared my throat before speaking again. Hello, is anyone there? This time, a sultry feminine voice worked itself through the phone line. Hi, Tom. It's Carlene with Network Engineering. Are you free right now? I felt a shiver run up my spine, but I frowned. I'd never heard of a Carlene from Network Engineering, and I had never heard of anyone from that department calling the lowly help desk center. Hi Carlene. How can I help you tonight? I could hear her smirk through the phone, her tone seemingly flirtatious. Well, Tom, it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm stuck in server room B. I put my badge down to bring a chassis in here, and I forgot it outside the door. I was hoping you could come down here and help me. I opened my mouth before closing it again. I remember thinking it was all really fucking weird, but I felt like I couldn't refuse, my mouth seemingly opening against my will. I'd love to, Carlene. I will be down in a jiffy, but what if my badge doesn't work? Carlene responded one last time through the phone. Don't worry, it'll work. Management and I have already talked. Then, with a click, I heard her hang up. Shaking my head, I slipped my phone in my pocket and opened the door to the office before making my way down the hall. My mind felt cloudy. Every step I took felt dreamlike, and the light above me seemed to shimmer through a kaleidoscope. I was forgetting something, but before I knew it, I was standing in front of the door to server room B. Through the haze, I extended my badge to the reader. It dinged, the calm sound echoing melodically in the empty halls. I reached my hand to the door handle, and just before I pulled it, the cold air of the data center ripped through my clothes again. I jolted up, my mind clear. On the other side of the door, I heard the faint humming of servers and the grinding sound of a chassis being moved. Carlene. I called through the door. No answer. I pushed the door open slightly, feeling the heat of the server room cascade through the opening. Cautiously, I peeked into the room expecting to see a woman standing among the rows of servers encased in racks, but I saw nothing. It was pitch black in server room B, and the only light seemed to come from the faint green flickering of the servers. Carlene, are you here? I called again before stepping further into the room. With an outstretched hand, I fumbled along the wall where I hoped the